Good morning. Coffee. We went dirt bike riding yesterday. Hot. Oh man. I rode hard. I'm tired. But 4 guitars. 4 guitars. I don't know. Can't remember how many. Either 3 or 4 guitars. We'll see at the end of the video. That I gotta check out. Make sure nothing's changed. They're gonna get boxed up. They're gonna get shipped today. Before I do that, I want to video some of them so that we can listen to them, because some of them are pretty cool guitars. I like guitars, in case you haven't noticed. This is 1951 D18. Pickguard's been changed. I didn't do that. Someone else did. 50s have a unique kind of square-edged butt on it, which at least they would have replicated on this, but I don't. Maybe they were trying to cover up some pick damage, because it looks like it's been refinished a little bit here. It's got holes in it right here too. That's what's, almost like screw holes. Looks like Clarence White's D28, that got shot with a BB gun. It's got 2 holes right there. Makes me wonder if something was screwed onto it or something. But it is a 51. It's got the original bridge. Everything looks good on it, except for the pickguard. And that's not that big of a deal. I bet Terry Mullins Holter pickguards could make a really nice one for this, but anyway, there it is. That's not what I was asked to do. I was asked to do a neck reset on it, and really that's all I needed was a neck reset. Dressed the frets up. I had just a few little divots in there that I was able to clean out really good. Checked the nut action after that, and that was fine. Adjusted maybe 1 string. Slotted the bridge. It's got inside on the bridge plate, it's got one of those very, very thin overlays. I'm trying to think of the word for it. Overlays that goes on the bridge plate to cover the pinholes, and that's done a lot of times to pull the string ball ends down when you've got too low of a saddle. When it came in, it had almost no saddle. So the windings will sit up there, and people will put an overlay in there to pull it down. Maybe there's some damage to the bridge plate, and that's how they want to fix it. That's fine. I don't normally like overlays, but the one on this guitar is really good. It's really, really thin. It's made out of maple. I left it in place. If it's thick, I pull it and fix it right. But no, this one looked good, so I left it alone. But I did slot the bridge, because the bridge had been over-slotted at one time, and someone filled in the holes, which is good. Filled in the ramps, filled in the holes to reduce that slotting. And the original slotting, or the slotting it had, went all the way to the saddle. So I know that was done to alleviate too low of a saddle. And they filled that in, but they didn't reslot the bridge pin holes, which to me, I really like. It should be done. That's the way the original would have been slotted, at least. So I did do that, and I put a set of non-slotted ebony pins in it. It had slotted ebony pins, and some of the ends were getting frayed and cracking. I put non-slotted in it. Did a neck reset on it, and there it is. That's about what I like. In fact, that is perfect for me in a vintage saddle. That's right about 1/30,000th of an inch thick, tall. The low E comes just to the top of the bridge pin, and I did a really good job on that neck reset. Thank you very much. So let's play it. Enough talk. One thing about 50s, if you don't know that, God, this might just be its own video. I'm talking so much. I haven't even had a coffee yet, Maybe I should get some more. I don't know. Sometimes coffee makes me sleepy and I talk less. All right, good. One thing about 50s, if you don't know this, the X crosses way over here. Like a pre-war D18 would cross 1 inch from the sound hole. So you could reach in here with your finger and you could feel the X that far. I've measured my finger and I know that's an inch. The pre-war will cross right here. This guitar crosses clear back here. It's 2 inches. A full 2 inches back. So that puts the X right here. That makes the bridge plate very small. It makes the bridge itself sit more up on the X, and the wings actually cross over on the X a lot more. That results in the 50s being very bright, snappy, punchy guitars, because the total opposite of a pre-war D18 as far as the structure goes, and the expression. The necks vary a lot on 50s. This one is a fantastic neck. I like a little chunkier necks, a little bit on the chunky side rather than the thin side, and this is just a fabulous neck. It's got a very rounded sort of V on it. It's not a round C shape, a baseball bat sort of shape, but it's kind of like this maybe. And it's not a sharp V like this would be. It's a rounded V. It's just a fantastic neck. God, I wish I had this neck on every guitar. So 50s tend to be, they will be really bright, snappy guitars. I worked on a 51, 50 something D28 once. It was just, it was too bright. I mean, it was a screamer. Took your ears out, The 18's good. I like 18s this way because 18s tend to be kind of mellower than a Brazilian D28 anyways, to me. And they sound good. This one sounds really good. So let's play it. I'll shut up and we'll play the guitar. Let's go through the routine first. Now, the swing rhythm, here's what's going to happen. It's going to cut like a knife. It's not going to, it doesn't have much whop to it, Let's see if we get the. It's got a pretty good bark. I mean, it's got a better bark than I expected it would have. Sounds like a mandolin chop to me now, more like than a 30s woof. Good. A ripping guitar. Man, this should make a powerful, powerful lead guitar in a band. Where if you were in a band, you would have your bass, and so that would cover the low frequencies, and you'd have a mandolin. It might be too much of the mandolin and a fiddle and a banjo. You might want something a little bit more. But if you're in a trio, and I'm trying to think, man, I'm not sure. I'd have to hear this against a mandolin. But I know if you played this with a bass, this would be a powerful guitar. It's pretty forward as a solo voice. I'm not sure it's pleasant, I'll probably get like the 37 authentic or something like that, a richer voice if I was doing a solo guitar. But man, this thing's got some bite to it. guitar. Plays great. Golly. I should keep it another week. I should come up with something's wrong with it, right? Yeah. Oh, there we go. I gotta clean that off. That's gonna take at least a week. Maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. You know, the strap button's loose. Yeah, the strap button's loose. That's gonna take 3 weeks before this guitar can go home. Yeah. I'd say so, wouldn't you? 51 D18. Wow. What a hoss. Well, this is an HD28. It's just a standard stock, run-of-the-mill HD28. Hey, and it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I think it does. I did. Man, this has been done for a while, so I got to think about this one. But it looks to me like I did my standard stuff on it. It's got Waverly tuners on it. It's got a bone nut. Looks like my nut on it. It's got the stock frets on it still. Yeah, they're in great shape. I did a neck reset on it. I can see a little bit of the fish glue peeking out right here, which I like to see myself as a little crinkly look. And you can see that it's not rubber glue. So I put the neck back on with fish glue. I did a neck reset on it. I think I took the popsicle brace out. If I didn't, don't panic, Mr. Owner. I did. But I think I took the popsicle brace out. Pretty sure I scalped the X braces all the way to X like an authentic or a GE. I shaved the rear back braces. I can see that much. And it's got Antique Acoustics bridge pins on it. Took the bridge off and re-glued it because we thought the bridge might have been small, but when I got it off and measured it, it was good. So I just glued it right back on, and made sure the finish was clean and that kind of thing. So it's got a K&K pickup on it, which I did not put in it. Yeah, mostly neck reset and just a general tune-up. The action was pretty high when it came in. And sounds good, Man, it's a good guitar. I got nothing against HD28s there to me, especially when you do the tuners and a couple of other modifications to them. They are, the bread and butter. I love HD28s. The neck on this one, at first, it felt a little bit slim, especially I just got off of that 51 D18, It felt a little bit slim, and it is a little slim. But it's not uncomfortably so. It's not overly slim. And what it has working for it is a very even taper. And I am so big on an even taper because to me, when I'm moving up and down the neck, it gives me a consistent feel. And so this guitar has a nice neck on it. This must be a newer HD28 because it's got the blind fingerboard. So, you know, this must be like a 10 or something like that, if I remember right. I've got to look at the sheet and see. Sometimes I don't like to bias myself by, oh, this is such and such year. I did on the D18, you know. I said it's not going to sound as good on the swing rhythm, but it surprised me because it sounded like a mandolin. But I try not to bias myself too much by saying, oh, it's this year, therefore it must sound like this. You know, I like to pick up the guitar and just play it. So now that I'm looking at it in more detail, I see that it must be a modern HD28 because it has the blind fretboard. Martin now routes the slots instead of cutting them all the way through, so you can't see the ends of the frets. It looks like a bound fingerboard, but it's not. So it's a modern one that needed a neck reset pretty early, as is the next guitar we're going to see. But it's a good guitar. This one has nickel bronze strings. I'm not sure they're nickel bronze. I'm not sure if they're Diodari nickel bronze, but they are nickel bronze. They're silver. There we go. That's the word I wanted. They're silver strings, and not your golden bronze strings. Owner supplied them. I put them on. That feels good. Yeah. Good. While I play on an HD28. Good guitar. So, let's gotta go home. first one of these I've had in the shop. This is a sinker mahogany. This is mahogany that, if I understand correctly, was sunk at the bottom of some great lake or another and harvested. So it's been in the water for a long time. Pulled up, made into a guitar. It's interesting, you know. This one has got a very, very bassy tone. You know, I would think it would be like a D18 GE or something, but it's not. It's got a different tone to it. A lot of bass. Not quite as much treble even, you know. It's funny if you compare this to that 51 D18. I mean, they're both mahogany guitars, and they're like radically different things. Of course, you know, the bracing is different and everything on this one. I'm trying to think what I did to this one just to be sure. Oh yeah, okay. The bracing on this one's already GE authentic style. The scalloping comes all the way to the X brace. I didn't touch that. It looks really good, in fact. Of course, Martin does a good job with them, you know, when they're bracing. The top bracing looked great. I didn't touch it. Popsicle brace came out. The rear back braces got shaved, and it needed frets. It got a complete fret job. It got a complete Evo fret job because the stock frets were worn down pretty good. This guitar is owned by a professional Nashville musician. Plays on the Grand Ole Opry. Jake Stargell, and I think I got that right. I don't know if it's a Stargell or a Stargell or whatever. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but Jake plays on the Grand Ole Opry with Mike Schneider. He's a great flat picker. He's 10 times a flat picker than I am, and so he wore the frets out all the way up and down the neck. So I refretted with gold Evo wire because I said, you know, you do the Evo one time and you're done. So we've got a fresh Evo fret job on it, and just a little bit of that bracing work. And that's it. You know, that's all it needed. It's a good guitar. It's got a 1 3/4 inch neck. It's a little bit of it's a rounded V. It's not as chunky as a GE. Pretty good neck. He says he wishes it was a little fatter because he likes chunky necks too. But this is not a bad neck. I could, you know, I got medium-sized hands. I could play this one very comfortably. Very good feeling neck. It's funny, the D28 appointments that it has with a white bound fingerboard and white binding on a D18. Maybe that's what gives it the D28 personality sound. So, okay, here's the bad things about this guitar. It's pretty new. I don't know what year it is, but I know Sinker Mahogany is pretty new stuff. I got to look up the year on it. And I've got the neck as flat as it will go because it really needs a neck reset. If it was me and I had my guitar, I had unlimited funds, I would reset that neck right now. Martin's got, I don't know what they're doing, but it seems like when they got the CNC machine, more recent Martins have been coming out with pretty low saddles. Now it's got enough saddle on it right now to where it could be okay, but I got no room for adjustment there. And Jake says he likes his action pretty low. I can't really get it any lower because that's about 100,000ths of an inch of saddle showing. That's hard to say. 100,000ths of an inch of saddle showing out of the bridge, and that's just not enough. I wish it was 125, 130, you know, 25, 30% taller. And the reason I can look at it like this, and I can see that the top of the low E string is like well below the top of the pins. So that means the pins stick up higher than the saddle and string combination, and that's what you're going to feel when you're playing the guitar if you let your hand come down like this. So like on the 51 that I just did a neck reset on, I told you that I liked the saddle perfectly on it, and on it the low E came right to the top of the pins and just gave it a much better look. And this one's below. It's tolerable right now, but you just got no room for movement, and that's the problem. Now let's get a little stick here, you know, and do some measurements right here real quick. But so your low E ought to be like around 1/2 inch, and that's not a magic number. That's just the number that results as a combination of a certain bridge and a certain saddle height to give you a 3/32 of an inch, 93 thousandths of an inch low E action, which is all pretty standard stuff, and you can vary from there, but you need to have a reason for it. So anyway, the low E ought to be about 1/2 inch off the top, and the top of the low E is 1/2 inch off the top. So it's not bad. It's just at the low end, you got a range of motion here, you know. You would like for it to be right here in the middle. You wouldn't want it to be really, you know, at the top end, you know. You would want it to be in the middle range of the specifications. And it's down here. It's right there. So maybe you'll never need an Equiset. Maybe in 5 years you're going to have to. I've got the action down to 3/32 of an inch, and that's it. And that's as far as I can go to have any saddle at all left. So, plays good though. I mean, you know, it's got a, like I said, the neck is absolutely razor flat. It's got a two-way truss rod in it, and a two-way truss rod will really stretch the neck out. Like a single action truss rod just bends, and so when you crank it down, it doesn't really change the action up here all that much or over here. But a two-way truss rod stretches that neck out, and the nut height will change dramatically when you adjust a two-way truss rod. So I've got this one down almost flat, and it did bring the action down, so it is workable. But because it has a flat fingerboard right now, it's very playable, you know, in the mid-range of the neck. It's only the 12th fret up here that we're measuring the action, but the actual playing up here is pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't want it any lower myself, you know, but I'm not Jake. I don't play as fast. I don't play as clean, as light. It plays good for me. Let's do Blackway Blossom again on it, because that's kind of a workout. Well, this is the Bourgeois we looked at earlier, and got its own video. In fact, it's getting ready to go in a box and go back home, and I just needed to check it out again, make sure nothing had moved. Once again, it's a Madagascar rosewood. It's got, I found out a lot about Bourgeois since I posted the first video. It's an aged tone top, and you can go online look and see what all that means. But basically, it's a torrefied top with a thin finish. Man, sounds good, you know. Probably the best Bourgeois I've ever played. And part of it's the neck, you know. I'm sorry the other ones sound bad or anything, but it's the neck. This has got an aged tone neck, a vintage neck on it. And it's not really vintage. It's not as big as that 51D18, but it's a very good neck. Real comfortable. I got no complaints whatsoever about this neck. I got no complaints at all about the guitar. It's a fabulous guitar, man. The action's pretty low on it. The owner just plays at home for his own enjoyment, likes a low action, doesn't want to fight it. That's really all I did to the guitar, was to adjust the action using a new saddle, put the old original in the case, and slotted the bridge, I think. And I made a new nut foot with the spacing I prefer, which is an equal distance in between the strings, which really makes a difference to me when I'm making like a B7 here. I've just got equal distance in there and my fingers clear, and it's so much nicer for me. So that's all I do to it. It's pretty easy. Yeah, it plays good though. I'm gonna put a capo on it and see what we got there. I'm gonna put a capo on it and see what we got. I have to actually play lighter. It's so absolutely so loud in my face that very, very powerful guitar. It's gonna go home. Wow. Nice guitars. Best part of my job. Great guitars.